So since you've been watching this program, there are about 1,000 more people in the world. That's because at any given time, 5 women are giving birth. And I know what you're saying. We got to find those 5 women and stop them right now. That's kind of a gag there. But biologically speaking, I mean, we have to have reproduction. That's part of the process. But a woman can have up to 15 kids comfortably. Maybe not that comfortably. But women are fertile for up to 30 years.
Hey, caveman.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about the population problem?
It's terrible. I mean, it's doubled in the 5 years I've lived here.
It's doubled?
Yeah. It was just me and the wife, and now there are 2 kids as well. It is really a strain on the resources, let me tell you.
You know that sex causes children, right?
Honey, did you know that sex causes children?
I just thought it caused a rash.
Well, no. Apparently it's where the kids came from.
That's enough of that, then.
When the United States was a developing country 200 years ago, the average family had 7 kids. Then came the industrial age and the expression, you can't keep them down on the farm. The 20th century saw the birth of something new in America, family planning. As we moved into modern times, smaller families made sense. But when it comes to less developed countries with age-old cultures, how do you change attitudes about responsible family planning? As more and more babies are born in the general hospital, that's where you'll find all my children as the world turns, the young and the restless. Wait, maybe we're onto something.
我知道没这一天了，你到底还是嫁过来了啊？铺床，老子要睡觉。你听见没有？
郑二顺，你还知不知道要脸？
So what do? You produce television?
We don't actually produce them. What we do is, I think the best expression would be to midwife them into existence. We are attendant, if you will, upon their birth. We go in at the request either of the UN or of the government or some NGO that says, this is an area, we need help here, can you help us? And then we do an enormous amount of formative research. What are the issues? What are the realities in that country that need addressing? The smart people learn it by trial and error. The smarter people watch it by other people doing trial and error. And what works out well, they'll say, okay, that's pretty good, I think I'll do that. Now, when we set up models in our soap operas, there are people who are doing something which has good results, and then down the line, people doing something which has bad results. The name of the program was Humrahi, and it played for a year on the Indian network in prime time, 9 o'clock at night, once a week. But in this series, Anguri was a 14-year-old girl who had been dumped by her father into a marriage, an arranged marriage. And the young swain wanted to consummate the marriage, but Anguri had this dream of being a barrister, of being an attorney. A silly dream for a girl in her condition in India, but nevertheless, her spirit and her gallantry, and she was adorable. Just everybody in India fell in love with Anguri. Her mother-in-law, who is the agent by which some of these people are repressed in all of Asia, the mother-in-law becomes the agent of passing on these mores, burns her books, and in fact, she's forced into consummating the marriage, becomes pregnant, and 8 months into the story, when the whole country has fallen in love with Anguri, she dies in childbirth. Now, the letters, 75,000 or more letters poured into the station.
75,000.
And they translated some of them for me so I could read them. And they were so poignant because young women saying, that's me, I feel like committing suicide. But more importantly, probably fathers saying, I will never let this happen to my daughter, never. What you were able to do with this drama was to pierce those incrustations of hundreds of years of custom and get into the hearts and into the guts of the people watching. It is the magic of entertainment.
If you're going to do one thing, one message, What is that?
It really has to do with women. It has to do with the status of women, especially in Africa, especially in Asia. We know, and there are statistics that can confirm this, that for every year of education that a woman gets, the increase in population goes down. For every time a woman can hold a job, have control of finances, inherit money, be treated with respect, have a stake in society beyond being a breeder of children, that's the best insurance for bringing some of these things under control.
If you're one of the teeming millions living in cramped conditions in the overpopulated cities of Asia and South America, this message is for you. There's room in South Dakota.
Come on in. There's plenty of room. Like over there. There's lots of room over there. There's lots of room over in this part of the state in general.
How big is a billion? If you started counting right now and took 1 second to count each number, day and night, nonstop, you would reach 1 billion in 31 years. 251 days, 7 hours, 46 minutes, and 39 seconds. Now, China's population is 1.3 billion. Imagine trying to feed 1.3 billion people. It would take approximately 650 million pizzas. That's almost 2 billion cups of flour from 16 million bushels of wheat. We'd need 2/3 of a million acres of land to grow the wheat, and that's about the size of Rhode Island. That's just one meal. We aren't even talking about the pepperoni. To stave off starvation and a low standard of living, the Chinese government took drastic measures. In 1979, they introduced a one-child per family law. One couple, one child. A logical solution to a growing problem, or an unfair policy in the extreme?
You have to go to China. Go to one of the cities. Stand in the street to feel literally the pressure of the population. From government standpoint, this is something China has to do. If China wants to become a modernized country, the most important thing is to reduce your population.
Did it work?
Definitely. Because of the one-child policy, the estimation is that China has reduced a possible 200 to 300 million of population. Remember that number, 200 to 300 million of the population. That means almost the entire United States population. But this achievement did not come without cost. In fact, China pays a huge price for the one-child policy. Yeah, meaning social, cultural, psychological impact on the society. And of course, the violation of the basic human rights, right? The government hired 200,000 staff to forcefully implement the policy at a cost of millions of dollars, right? Yeah. To do this. And the people, many people are not appreciating that. And